Hey everyone, it's Mackenzie with Brown Bag Academics, and I just wanted to put together a quick little tutorial on how to implement Google Drive in your writing classroom. Now, I do this for both high school and college level writing, so it should be fine for middle school as well. But first thing you need to do is you need to have a Google account. Now, a lot of schools are moving to Gmail, so your students do need to have a Gmail account, and they'll be able to access their Drive by clicking up here, and it'll show up in one of the apps, which you'll see that my apps aren't loading right now, but here's where it would show up. Once you click on the Drive, students will click Create and Document, and this will take students to a brand new document, and they can open this anywhere they want. They can really, the best thing about a cloud is that they can never really lose their work. So once we're here, one of the things that I like to do is I like to have students click Share. They'll rename their document, and then they'll share it with me. So down here in the invite people, you'll see enter names or email addresses, and they can just share it with anyone, particularly you. The one thing that I think is really important is this can edit function. Students need to decide, and you need to probably decide for them what you want them to do. So can edit means that anyone can open that document who is sent the document, and they can actually edit the content inside of it. Can comment, on the other hand, means that you can view the document, but you can't actually change the original content. Instead, what you can do is you can comment on it, and you can chat about the document. And the last one is can view. That literally only gives people viewing rights. They cannot leave comments on it, and they cannot actually edit the content. So depending on what you're doing, you're going to want to choose one of these three. For myself, I prefer to always choose can comment when students send me their work. That way I can comment on their essays as they're working so they can see my thoughts, but nothing will happen to their original content. If you're doing collaborative essays, which I like to do in class, you'll have the students share the document with one another and do can edit so they can both work on the document simultaneously. If you want students to just read each other's essays without doing anything to them, do can view. If you want students to read each other's essays and do peer review, then you'll do can comment. Really, the options are limitless for that. So the main thing is, though, you want to have this correct setting for whatever you're going to be using the document for. And once you enter in the email address, you'll click Done right after that. So students have this document, and they can type whatever, and one of the things that I love about it is that it's collaborative. So I wanted to show you an example of student work that I took a picture of today. Now, I took a screenshot of it so that I could white out the student names, but I just wanted to show you an example of us collaborating on an assignment together. So the students in this situation are writing collaborative research papers. And as they're writing their research paper, I have had them share the document with me so that I can comment on it as they're writing. So you'll notice this yellow highlighting. The yellow highlighting is where I've highlighted something and put a comment next to it. So you'll see the comment right here. They had a sentence that was a little bit confusing, and it was a run-on, and I said, I'm not quite sure what this means. Then the students went back and, oops, sorry about that. The students went back and they went ahead and changed it, and then he responded better. And I said the first part is better, let's revise the last part now, and I gave them some tips on how to do that as well. You'll also see the green stuff right here. The green is the suggestions that I've made because this student gave me editing rights for their paper. So it doesn't actually edit on their document, but it tells them that I've suggested that they do that. You'll also see down here, this is a chat conversation we're having on the side. So the difference between the chat and the commenting section is the commenting is linked to specific areas. So you'll see this one's a little bit darker yellow. That's this set of comments. This one's a little bit lighter yellow. That's this set of comments. And this one's another yellow, and that's this set of comments. So whenever they hover over one of these, that section will light up brighter. The chat, on the other hand, is not something that stays. So every time they delete or close out the tab, the chat disappears. Okay, so while this information stays with the page, this information does not. So you'll see this conversation we had. I said, you're almost done. Yes, what could other people write about on the topic? And then the student said, oh, okay, And then I gave them further directions for, this was the conclusion. If I read your paper and then wanted to write something on the same topic, what's something a little bit different that I could do research on? Does that make sense? So then you'll see that they have made these sorts of changes in their essay. The last thing I wanted to point out to you is that you have this cursor right here that's pink, and you have another cursor right here that's green. And what's cool about that is you can kind of see up in the top right-hand corner right here, I have two little icons. These icons are the other two people who are viewing the document. So I have one student here and one student here. Now this one is pink and this one is green. So of course that means that the pink is this cursor and the green is this cursor. So I can see what each individual student is working on. So what's really, really cool about that is that as they're working, if I have all the documents for the class pulled up, I can click through the documents, click on their names, and see what each individual student is specifically working on real time. So as I like to say, I don't have to actually hover over their shoulder, but I'm actually hovering over their shoulders looking to see what they're doing. But that's just a little bit of training for you on how to use Google Docs in the classroom. I really hope that helps you out, because I can tell you for sure it has been a godsend in my class, and it's really helped to improve writing and rapport between the students and myself. So good luck. Thank you.